I think the last few years we have had a lot of excitement in this country regarding women's rights. And I come from a country which had the first women prime minister when I was a child. So I was looking at this country, I'm looking at this country from a very different lens. And some things amazed me because 2020 we celebrated 100 years of women's suffrage, while in India, we had the right to vote from the day that India got independence. So some things I just thought were very interesting considering I'm coming from a third world country into a first world country. I would have expected things to be a little different. So it was a learning process for me.
But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? Have you ever thought?
My name is Anupama Mirle. I live in Butler County, Liberty Township, and I worked at P&G, quit many years ago. I'm a Indian classical dancer and choreographer. And I guess I'm technically from India, an immigrant from India who settled down here, came to study here and met my husband here and settled down here. And the style that I do is traditional and folk art. So I am a 2024 Black and Brown artist grant recipient, and I felt very fortunate because I felt I had a very strong message that I wanted to share with the community, and this allowed me the opportunity to do so. So thanks to ArtsWave. I think the last few years we have had a lot of excitement in this country regarding women's rights. And I come from a country which had the first women prime minister when I was a child. So I was looking at this country, I'm looking at this country from a very different lens. And some things amazed me because 2020 we celebrated 100 years of women's suffrage, while in India, we had the right to vote from the day that India got independence. So some things I just thought were very interesting considering I'm coming from a third world country into a first world country. I would have expected things to be a little different. So it was a learning process for me. The other thing that also kind of interested me was even though we come from that country that has a first woman prime minister and all that, we still have a lot of dowry related deaths. The differential of baby boys and baby girls is still a point that needs to be addressed in our country, my country, India. So this project, in a sense, allowed me to bring some of those points across. It is an Indian word. It is called DOR. It means string. So this whole project is looking at relationships as strings. Some strings that bring us together, some that tear us apart, and some that can even strangulate you. So initially it was going to be a multimedia piece because we were going to do it on an actual stage with a PowerPoint and everything. But I think on Sunday we are doing it at the Carnegie at the gallery. So we stripped out the informational part of it at this point. And we are using prop to showcase the concept of the string in the production. It is a live performance, and I have a lot of choreographers who are friends in this community. And I decided that the message was universal enough that I reached out to them. And even though I had the overall vision and the choreography in mind, I wanted them to be part of it. So in a way, this is presenting from a woman's perspective across different dance styles, across, we even have one who is non-Indian, and I will let you come on Sunday and decide and see that for yourself. I was born in India, so this is what I learned as a child. And as I grew older, I realized that this is a vocabulary that I could use to basically showcase my thoughts. And that is what I have found as the freedom in this style. And that's why I like it and I do experiment with it. Sometimes I'm probably more on the outside fringe than people are comfortable with, but it's something that I like to just dabble with every once in a while, even though I do heavily classical pieces. This that you will see on Sunday is probably one example where we are pushing the boundary, because I have done this in a very traditional, keeping only Bharatanatyam. And then I did it again where we used slightly different styles from Pan Asian, because Indian art actually went to different parts of the world. So then I pulled in all that and you did it again. This time I was motivated to do it because of so many things that were happening worldwide, that I felt this was a very good way for me to share that information. So yet again, I did it in a different way. I think the truth part of it is what we see in front is very rarely what it is. And specifically, it relates to abuse, where we may actually be seeing a person perfectly fine in society, but we don't know what is going on behind closed doors. So, how do you bring that person to get motivated to reach out to a helping hand, to feel safe, to want to live? So, that I think for me is the truth part. The innovative part is it's a work in progress. This is probably one way that I thought is to reach out. What we would like to do is, if the group is available, we want to be able to perform it, senior centers, assisted living, different places. So people get the message. And if they are on that brink where should I not, hopefully art can make them push towards, hey, you know what, maybe somebody in this group itself I can reach out to. So that's what is the hope. It is a heavy subject, but we do aim to entertain. So I'm hoping that the production itself will be fun to watch. My truth is a student of mine. She became a friend, a mentor, almost like a second mother. She is now in her mid 70s. And she's a member of our community, and she was my closest interaction with the issues that many women in rural India and probably other parts of the world face. And that is what motivated me to tell the story. So I spoke to her and I asked her, is it okay if we use your story as the base? And I reached out to Dave. He's one of the I think the story writers, tellers from who works for I think Cincinnati Fringe. I got the contact from Memorial Hall, I think, and had him interview her and then picked a few things that I would like to highlight through this production. Art heals. Art itself, the creation, the participation, and just watching, either by performing or by watching, participation either way, can be a healing, cathartic process. So I want to be able to use this in that way. So that is the first thing. The second is art has no boundaries. It can be used to tell a story, and we can choose what the story is and how we want the narrative to be. And I think the third is that there are many issues, especially in the Asian community. We do not even talk about it because it's considered to be social stigma. And even if somebody needs help, they don't know where to reach out to help. And there are lots of community groups within the US, in the Asian community, that are creating a network, almost like an underground network. But more work needs to be done towards this, and this is just to bring awareness of that.